Hello, this is Jeff Brindley from Retirement and Wealth Strategies, and welcome to my new video series called Biblical Principles for Your Finances. And interestingly enough, I've got a study guide that I've published. It's called Biblical Principles for Your Finances. And we're going to touch a little bit on, to get started in this video series, we're going to touch a little bit on the basics of investing. So in this study guide, it was originally designed, I originally designed it as a small group study. So if you have a small group at church, great place to use this study guide. But also I think it can be used for couples and individuals as well. So if you're ever thinking about using something like that, I think that this is a good study guide for your finances. And we're going to touch a little bit again on the basics, but also in subsequent videos we'll touch on Scripture and how Scripture affects our finances and gives us direction a little bit on our finances as well. So just kind of sets the stage, basics of investing. I'm going to open with a little bit of, on the first page here, to describe, why we need some basics of investing. And when it comes to investing, I think learning what to do is relatively easy, but doing what we're supposed to do can be kind of hard. I think we can be our own worst enemies at times, especially when the market is turbulent and volatile like it has been recently. So one quality I think that really separates professional investors from the rest of the population is emotional self-control. Professional investors keep their emotions in check because they're following a process. Whereas casual investors' emotions interact, I think, with news, in market events, in ways that incline them to act maybe in the wrong time, at the wrong times, and in the wrong ways. So that's what a lot of this is about. These 7 basics of investing is kind of setting up a plan and following a process like professional investors do. With that said, even following a sound rules-based strategy, it still can be hard to have that self-discipline that you need. And so you need that self-discipline to overcome emotions when things start to change, and so you can follow that process that you've set up. So I'm going to touch on just very briefly on the 7 tenets, the basics of investing. And then I'm going to come back to number 1 and go over that one in a little bit more detail. So the first one is to be humble. And there is a quote from Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9 that says, "There is nothing new under the sun." So don't try and reinvent the wheel. Be humble. The second tenet is be conscientious. Maybe see yourself as the caretaker of what God has given you, right? The third tenet is be prepared. Develop a written plan that lays out your investment strategy. That plan can help you to keep on track. Again, when things change, the market starts to change, you go back to your prepared written plan to make sure that you're staying on track with that. The fourth tenet is be content. So a preoccupation with large profits can be dangerous if you're preoccupied with that. Be content with the returns that you're getting. Nice steady returns over a long period of time is what builds your assets. Be diversified. So you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, right? Be diversified. Mix it up a little bit. Be patient. Again, over a long period of time with steady returns, that's how you're going to build your assets. So be patient. Patience comes into play there. And then be accountable. Show your plan to a spouse or a trusted Christian friend, somebody that you can review with on a regular basis to make sure that you're sticking to your plan, as opposed to running off and chasing the the latest investment. If that's part of your plan, that's one thing, but make sure that you're accountable, and having somebody else involved helps you to stay accountable. So we're going to go back to the first basic tenet, and that's be humble. Again, there's nothing new under the sun. So I know a lot of people want to develop something new, something unique, but this instruction from God in Scripture has proven to be practical and effective. The priorities and guidelines He provides are for our protection. So abandoning them means that we trust our own thinking more than His. And so there's a lot of good things in Scripture. We've got a lot of different scriptures in this study guide that we'll be reviewing over time. And we'll have about one a week. So we're gonna produce about one a week of these videos, and it'll be simply a discussion of the Scripture. And then I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So after the video, we're going to give you an opportunity to share your thoughts as well. Things like calling me or even emailing me. I'd love to hear your thoughts as we go through this video series. The next few videos will be much shorter than this first one, but I did want to kind of set the stage for subsequent videos in this first video. So again, my name is Jeff Brindley. I'm from Retirement and Wealth Strategies, and God bless until next week.